All right. So, Alex, I've been working on this whole how do I say, introducing live streams, like right when we get open, like just immediately just start spieling out like this is what this is how to be involved and stuff like that. But for this one, this is a sort of impromptu one, so like I figured I would just sort of skip that.
Yeah, like let's like not even care today. Let's just talk copy and talk. I'm not going to use a swear word just yet, but talk silliness. I don't want to. I don't want to be thinking about transitions and like being punchy. I just want to review some copy and talk to the chat.
Well, I was going to at least, at the very least, start off with like a little bit of context for everybody so they understand why we're even streaming to begin with.
Fuck them. Now, all right, we should do that.
Well, Jesus Christ.
It's been a while since we got on stream. It's fun.
It is true. Hold on, let me pull something up really quick. There we go. So I guess hello everybody, hello. Welcome to this impromptu stream. This is not for you. This is not for people watching. This is not for your standard Whetstone Wednesday participating people. This is specifically a little live video that we're doing because we started a boot camp. It's a 12-week boot camp for 20 people, though one person actually sent me a whole piece of copy pitching me on why he should be allowed to join as well. And I was like, well, if you're going to go through all that fucking effort, I might as well let you pay me. So we let him in. So we have 21 people. It's a 12-week course. And the big selling point for this, when we launched it, was like, what is the one thing that we can offer that no other copywriting guru can, which is like, well, we have other businesses. We have active testing grounds where we can like publish your copy and see like if it works and give people data, feedback, and even money if their copy does well. And so that's what we've been doing with that bootcamp. I also got a lot of guest speakers, really amazing people. We got Kyle Milligan to show up. David Deutsch presented today. We have Mark Ford coming in. And I have a few other live guest speakers that we're talking to as well for the remaining 8 weeks of the boot camp. It's been very, very amazing. Mm-hmm. But the whole point of what we're doing today is, well, as part of that whole, like, we will test your copy, well, Copy That is launching a new sales letter for one of its existing products. And, well, I'll just show people. So this is what we currently, well, no. This is what we currently have. Anybody who's seen any of our videos and clicked the links down in the description below has probably seen this. This is our main outreach and job getting focused course. This is the copy that Alex wrote in like a day.
Yeah. I mean, a while ago as well. When was that? Like,
a couple years.
2 years ago, a year and a half ago.
And we just haven't updated it since. And so we got a friend of the show to write a sales letter that tells more of a story, is less like an e-com product and selling more of an info product. Still very bullet driven, but hopefully more optimized. Hey, look, there's the person who wrote it, and there's Alex, and there's my wife, and there's me, and there's Rod. I'm there you go. But yeah, basically, like we're upgrading the copy, and we're going to launch it to our email list. The link down in the description below still goes to the old sales letter. And, well, I figured, like, what better opportunity than to have people in the boot camp write copy that drives email leads to this sales page. And if they manage to sell anything, we will pay them. But what we're going to do is do a tournament style, like tournament brackets, where I'm going to assign everybody a random number. We're going to fill out the bracket. I'm also going to write an email for this new sales letter. And, yeah. The new sales letter, new offer, new everything, 2025.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to get ChatGPT to write an email for this. And so we're all going to have like this randomized like tournament brackets, and we're going to see like whoever is the best email, and whoever is the best email, we're going to take that copy and we're going to put it into our automated gauntlet so that this person will be able to get money in perpetuity for the copy that they wrote for this tournament. Did I miss any context?
I don't think so. I think you cover everything. I think we should talk about the context of the sales letter and the offer in a moment, just so people understand what we're actually trying to drive stuff to, and who this is going to on our list. But I think you've pretty much covered everything. This is basically just a way for it, and we're not going to be doing this like a regular Whetstone Wednesday where we're going to be giving specific changes to each line. Is that right? We're going to be more saying, here's
high
what we
level.
feel.
Work on this. This isn't great. Yada yada.
Yeah. So I guess the only other thing to say is like this sales letter, which was written by a friend of the show, is the whole context of it is it's going to our list that Copy That already have, but we're very much being clear that this is for people who are working copywriters who want to get better clients and get more clients, which is why it's been framed in this way. And this is effectively almost a filter, like that we always like to do. You know, it's always a filter of we trying to disqualify the wrong people and qualify the right people. So one of the things I'm going to be looking for, and for anyone who's in the bootcamp who's watching this right now, one thing I'll be looking for is, are we sticking to like the Copy That mantra? You know, because I know we talk a lot about direct response and getting in revenue, but at the same time, we don't want to be slimy, horrible people. We like to have our own ethics that we abide by. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on, are the emails trying to like sell false promises, which is obviously something we always try to avoid.
Yeah. I also, and this is the last little bit of context and the final piece of like true value that I have to, offer, that not the indirect value of like us like giving comments and people learning from that. But I also have up like a few different emails, because like one thing that I suggested to the people in the bootcamp was that a lift would probably do better than a sales email for this. Most of you watching, if you're new to copywriting, probably do not know the difference between a lift and a sales email. A sales email is literally a written argument in an email as to why you should buy the product. That's it. And so like if you're selling a piece of jewelry, like it would be a whole long message about why you should buy this piece of jewelry. You'll rarely ever see sales emails for jewelry. You'll see emails more like this, where they'll show you a picture of the thing and then tell you what the thing is and then give you a CTA to go get it. That's usually how e-com is done. This is most emails. This is not a lift. This is just an email.
Yeah.
There you go. A lift, on the other hand, is more like this. And it typically follows the structure of disrupt, intrigue, click, or dick. And we all love the dick, but I think that a few people have been like misapplying their dicks to the wrong context or sticking it in the wrong place. Really, like, I've seen people talk about like, oh, I need to use my dick on a sales letter. And it's like, no, buddy, you need to keep your dick, hold it back. Keep it in your pants until you have a lift email to write. And this is an example of that, where you have time is running out to cash in on the next dividend check with an incredible 12.7% annual yield. Disrupt. Brian Perry, one of America's top income experts, has just revealed his #1 income play for 2025. Intrigue. And all this is building up more intrigue, and then we just go straight for the click. Go here now. And this pattern is so common. Once you understand the dick pattern, you're going to see dicks just everywhere, especially when it comes to lift emails. Lift emails are really, really good for this context, and everybody watching should take this down. You want to lift when you are selling or linking somebody to a sales letter where there's a lot of persuasion already. If you try to write a sales email or overwrite your lift, you can tend to steal away a lot of the persuasive power of the sales page. That is, if you take details from the sales page and put it into the email, well, guess what? People will see the same details on the sales page, and they'll be like, well, this is just the same thing that was in the email. And they will lose interest and lose intrigue. So things that you want to keep in mind. That's the advantage of a lift. It's designed to tease people. You're selling the click, whereas the sales page is selling the thing that you're selling.
I would add one last thing to that, which you may be coming to add, Sean, but similarly, we need to make sure that whenever we're writing any kind of email, but particularly a lift where the weight that's trying to carry is to intrigue enough to get the click, that the next thing that they see makes sense or relates to what they have just seen. Sean has just said, obviously, we don't want it to be the exact same thing, of course, because we don't want to repeat ourselves and have them go, okay, well, why am I reading something new? Why am I on a new page? But also, we don't want to go too far and have them go, well, this is in no way related to what I've just looked at in this email. So if this email here, talking about the most explosive 7-day stock surge of the year, If this then went to a page that immediately started going on about, I don't know, like save for retirement in the best way possible, it's like, whoa, hang on, wait,
There's a disconnect.
Yeah.
But here you can obviously see the connection and the coherence between what we clicked in the email and what we're seeing on the page. So it's very coherent, and we see that in this email, same DIC pattern: disrupt, intrigue, and it literally says click here. Now, I want to give another example of like a story, not just building, teasing and, benefits and stuff like that, but a story that also sells a copywriting product. And this is a good way to do it. This is the worst piece of copy I've ever read. Just right there, boom, piece of dialogue. We're right in the middle of the action. There's no buildup. There's no throat clearing. It's just disrupt. Whoa. That is what my copy chief blurted out after I submitted my first promo to him. Don't tell anybody, I said. I was afraid and ashamed. And then I've seen Kyle send out this email quite a bit. Like, it's definitely in his recurring roster of emails, which means that it's usually working. And so this is all telling the story, but it's all building intrigue for the product. And here we have click here, DIC. Even though this is longer, even though this is telling a story, it's still a lift. It's still lifting onto that sales page. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm just putting that out there. This is all designed to help you understand like the value of the dick and where to put it, because you don't want to stick it everywhere. All right. Yep. So without further ado, I have a question. Is dick type of emails are enough to get clicks to sales page, or do we need to email sequence also? You can have a sequence of lifts that all point to the same sales page. That is absolutely super common, mega common.
It is just the thing, really. Yeah. for most people. And it depends how you're defining a sequence. It depends if you're defining it as these all have to be connected to each other, or just you have a lift going out or different lifts going out twice a week to try and push people to the same sales page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have one-off broadcasts that are lifts, and that's especially useful if it's like, a short-term promotion, or you can have a sequence that goes to what's called an evergreen offer. You have a series of lifts that all use the dick format, and you can disrupt and build intrigue around different facets of the opportunity. So for example, you're selling a weight loss opportunity or something like that. You can have the first lift email be built around like the problem that people have. You can have the second lift email be built around like how amazing it feels when you have the benefit of losing weight. You can have the third email be built around like case studies. You can have the fourth email be built around like urgency, like, hey, you're going to lose access to this weight loss opportunity soon. All of them would follow the disrupt, intrigue, click format, and they would all be designed to build intrigue, but not reveal enough about the sales page on the back end of that, on the other side of the click. So hopefully that makes sense. There are people asking about building an Instagram account. I'll just quickly say, one, you do not have to have an Instagram account to reach clients. The best copywriters I know who are freelancers don't have an Instagram account. If you feel that the people you want to reach out to, the businesses you want to reach out to are on Instagram, it makes sense to do it. There you go. So this is the first email that we are going to look at today. Do you want to read, or shall I read?
I will read this first one. Let me take it.
All right.
All right. So there are 4 variants of the subject line. So let's read through those first. 1. Start generating income from your copywriting in 30 days or less. 2. Get your first copywriting client in 30 days. Read on. 3. Looking to land your first copywriting client. 4. I needed to get this information to you ASAP. And then the subject line, if you need to find copy clients. Now, Sean, I want to turn to you first. And before we even get into the body, 1, do any of those jump out to you at all? And 2, general comments.
I think general comments, none of these subject lines are really screaming at me. Like, they all feel very same.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are really calling out me in particular or really building up enough intrigue. I think the one that I would play around with is probably this one personally. Like, there's potential there, but it's still too vague and too
It's
same thing.
unspecific, and
Yeah.
yes, it builds heavily on intrigue, but again, yeah, there's not really much more else for me to grab onto. My broader general comment of this is this kind of goes against everything that we are trying to do as a brand. All of these, or apart from that bottom one, are talking about how to get your first copywriting client. Click here to get your first copywriting client. Do you need your first copywriting client? Obviously, we haven't read the body yet, but my bet is going to be, it's like, oh, if you're struggling to get any copywriting clients as a beginner, you should look at this thing. If you go and read the sales page, it's not aimed at new copywriters. It's talking to hello copywriters. Like, if you want to get your next client and you haven't got to do any of this annoying stuff you've been doing, you find your best clients, then this product is for you. Dear copywriter, who probably isn't finding the work they want to right now, would you be willing to ditch everything you've been taught about outreach if it meant you could land a paying gig you really want within 30 days? Right? So, like, just that there, first of all. We're not shouting out at newbies. Sorry, Sean, go on.
No, I was just about to yes and you. Like, for real. Like, it's making a very indirect promise. Mm-hmm. And two, like, it's saying something pretty provocative, which is like, there's a lot of people out there right now being like, oh, the thing that you need to do is bait and switch people on Instagram. Like, fuck you. No, you don't.
I wonder why you're thinking about that. But yeah, like that's the broadest point here is that, and in one of our more recent videos about talking about copywriting gurus, we literally say the words, the free stuff takes people from 0 to 1, the paid stuff takes people from 1 to 10. Yep. You're not at 1 if you haven't got a client yet. So, like, I don't mind skimming through the rest of this email just for the sake of, looking at the actual copy. However, if I was in a rush and this had into me, I wouldn't even read on because I'd be like, well, those subject lines are not what we'd want to do as a brand.
Yep.
All right, let's read on. Hey, fellow copywriter. First off, thank you for opening this email because I know it can help. You see, I know you're a new copywriter. I also see that a big struggle for new copywriters is getting clients. And this is the exact reason why I created the CCC. Now, I'm going to stop reading right there. First of all, like, forget the context I just spoke about of how this isn't for new copywriters. Let's imagine it was for new copywriters for a second. Those 4 lines, taking you 4 lines to, like, kind of say effectively one thing, and there's no intrigue which has been built from this whatsoever. This is just, hey, I'm about to sell you a product that teaches you how to get clients. That's effectively what you've said. It's taking you 4 lines to say that because, let's be honest, the first 3 lines aren't actually adding anything to this email whatsoever. So why has it taken you this long to even say what you want to say? And even then, why would you want to say this? Because you're starting your email off with, hey, I want to sell you something. That's not very disruptive, and that's not even building it. That's not starting to build intrigue. So,
yeah, and we don't need to keep reading on if something is not working. Period. And I would say that this is not working. This is an example of what's called throat clearing. Now look at this line, because like you, I once struggled to land clients, and that's a little vague. That's called telling, not showing. And here's how you would show, not tell. Like, you would open up the email with just like, I smashed my head against my table because I had failed to close another client. It's been 3 months since I've gotten any paid work. And then, you just imagine the lines going from there. Mm-hmm. And then you like evoke the story, and then you talk about a discovery or something that you did that was a little bit different, but you don't reveal what you did that was different. You link over to the sales page to find out what I did that got me out of this rut. Well, I want to tell you more about it, but it's too much for this email. So please click here to read the rest of my story. There you go.
Yeah. Like the thing I was going to add to that just quickly before we get to that question is, and just to prove that like what Sean's saying doesn't have to just be done in one style. Sean obviously kind of started with like almost the negative route there, effectively empathizing with the problem the person is reading. Yeah. Similarly, you could open the email with something like, I couldn't believe I'd landed my first 5K client, and all I had to do was change like one word in my outreach emails. Okay, that's extremely direct and extremely like I would send a lift just of a line like that, obviously tightened a little bit, and then just say this is what it was. Right, that's like a 2-line lift, and that is gonna, I guarantee that's gonna drive more clicks than this one, because that is like, oh my god, what is that? I need to know.
You should put that email into the tournament brackets. We'll see who rises to the top.
And then I need to quit this show.
So really quickly, this recording is going to be left up online. So don't worry about this getting taken down. This is not a master class that we're putting behind a paywall. So if anybody's losing sleep over this, don't worry about it. This is just an impromptu live stream that we're doing to give people advice. Okay, so that's the first email. Let's look at the second one.
You want to say this one?
Subject line: warning, skipping this email could cost you thousands. Second subject line: the #1 mistake keeping you from signing clients. I'm not loving that subject line. I don't know if I would open that. I think that this is going in a better direction. You know, this is using a bullet format, but it's still very vague. Like, it's still like there's nothing here that really I feel like I could sink my teeth into. Like with subject lines, like there are a couple of different ways to approach them. You either want to be super relevant, like for example, enclosed your first issue of this thing you bought. Like, holy shit, okay, yeah, we're super relevant. Another one is like super intrigue. For example, I gave an example of what used to be at one point the best like buy open rate subject line to free traffic, the free email list, all lowercase, buy goats, BY space goats. And it was all about commodities trading. But the subject line, buy goats, super intriguing. And then the other way that you can go about it is more like either benefit, or you can do a sort of David Deutschian, do the opposite, you know, the opposite of a benefit that you would want to run away from. And so this is trying to do that. Skipping this email could cost you thousands, but that's still not ultra specific enough to really make me yearn to open it. So,
like, again, a simple way just to improve that subject line, and going back to relevance, is now the one thing we haven't mentioned yet is the people who are getting these emails will know it's coming from Copy That, which is a slight benefit, because hopefully our list knows us, and there's a reason they signed up to us, because they trust us when it comes to copywriting information. So that's one good thing. So I know we don't have to remind everyone in like the subject lines who it's coming from. We don't have to, like, you know, the implication will be that it's for copywriters. That's fine, you know. However, this subject line, you could simply improve this by saying like, skipping this email like will delay your next copywriting client, right? Like, is that the best subject line in the world? Nowhere near. However, it's far more provocative than will cost you thousands, because I have no idea what this is even relating to, right?
Yeah. There's I think a very valuable tool in that I want to encourage people to think about, which is very simply that, like, right now in your inbox, you have thousands of people screaming for your attention. But one of the best ways to get attention now in this day and age is to be the quiet voice, the calm voice. That's honestly like how Copy That has grown as a business. Like, while everybody else is screaming all around us, we're just the level-headed, very calm, very safe and comforting voice here to talk to you guys. And that's really what has allowed us to stand out. All right. Back to you.
I was going to say, and just quick, do you want to know, because I haven't written an email about this yet. Do you want to know, Sean, and for everyone watching, what our best performing subject line was during our Black Friday campaign? I think we sent about 30 emails.
I would love at one point in the next few weeks to actually have a live stream and go through, like, from bottom to top, like our top 15 to 20 performing emails of all time. I would love to do that.
We should absolutely do that. Do you want to guess, or do we not want to go into it at all right now?
Hit me. What's our best performing
The
subject?
best performing, I went to the whole list, like 8,000 people. I think it had something like 40% open rate. Was just the word Timmy! Exclamation point. That was our best performing subject line in terms of open rate. Not in terms of sales, but in terms of open rate, that was the one that got the most people to open.
Yep.
And I think that speaks to exactly what you've just said.
Buy goats, man. I'm telling
Yep.
you. Buy goats.
Yep.
Well, y'all are fucking sleeping on the buy goats. We're gonna release a blueprint where it's buy blank weird thing, insert weird thing here.
The copy that BG formula. I like
Oh my
that.
God.
All
Buy
right.
goats.
Okay, all right. Let's carry on. That's my fault.
All right. Dear loyal reader, every day, thousands of copywriters spend hours spamming cold outreach messages to try and sign new clients. They do this because every guru out there tells them to. Big mistake. Here's the good news. You won't have to do that with the Copywriting Career Co-Pilot. To be honest, this isn't like anything you've ever seen before. In fact, the Copywriting Career Co-Pilot contains resources you won't get anywhere else. First off, this is not really working as a disrupt. This is what you're doing here is what we would call in a story or a narrative framework posturing. Please allow me to tell you the story, or allow me to introduce the problem that people face. You can just start with, dear loyal reader, it's time for you to stop spamming out outreach messages. Right there. And immediately, it's shorter, it's punchier, it has the same connotations, it communicates the same thing, but more powerfully. I also, one thing that you don't need to do in a lift email is ever reveal what the product is.
This is going to be my point. Is like this, we often use the phrase giving away the farm. And like this, not only is this saying what the product is and saying, oh, I'm about to sell you a product, it also refers to specific things on the page about like, oh, you can use the resources inside to get 20 grand and there's the DNR roadmap. And like without the added context of the sales page, those things are so much less powerful because I haven't had the buildup of the sales page. You're effectively taking things from the sales page, throwing into this email, which is completely diluting the power they would have had on the page. And these first two emails we've reviewed, they don't really feel like you guys have read the actual sales page, like what I'm initially going to see after I click, and are using that to your advantage.
Yeah.
Like, you just need to sell the click. And then think, okay, then when they land on this sales page and they see this next big headline, are they going to be primed to be like, wow, yeah, I really want to read about this?
Yeah. I think that's very, very good advice. And that's about where I would stop. Like, that's the revision advice that I would give to this particular copywriter. Like, really think hard about how to disrupt people and get their attention. Build intrigue for like what they want and what we're offering, and then get people to click such that it doesn't reveal everything and it doesn't take away the magic. So,
Yep.
So let's move on to this one.
All right, I'll take this one.
All right.
Subject line, tickling the client's yes button.
What do you think of that?
I actually like that.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, what's your copy career take off with this? I prefer the first one.
Yeah, I prefer the first one too, but like the second one's not bad either.
It's
like
better,
I think that
it's better than what we've seen. For sure.
this is superior to the previous examples, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. Proof text, 30 days to more clients. Do you know the biggest frustration for aspiring copywriters? Maybe you struggle with it too.
Time out. Right there.
You're going to say the thing I was about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say it.
Well, there's two things to this, right? Like, firstly, and there's a positive and a negative here. Now, this is more, kind of hate this word, but like, it's more impactful than the last two. However, you can still get to this point more quickly because you've started by saying, do you know the biggest frustration for aspiring copywriters? Like, what is that biggest frustration? Because I'm reading it and I'm aspiring copywriter. Just tell me what I'm feeling there. Tell it to me as me. Don't say, do you know what the biggest frustration is? Like, but regardless, this is much better because it's still hitting at the jugular more quickly, is what I was going to say.
Please go on.
Maybe you struggle with it too. It's grabbing the attention of high value clients, because if you can't get on their radar, Alex, you're not going to get the gig. But you're not the only one scrambling to bust through. In today's hyper-competitive market, it's hard to stand out. In fact, it's tougher to convert prospects into paying clients now than ever before. If only someone would give me a chance. After all, you're doing everything Google and the gurus told you to. Stalking social media for opportunities, no matter how small, lowering your rates, jostling for low-level clients in overcrowded job boards, while mass spamming inboxes of dropping DMs daily. Yet none of it manifested a Rolodex of clients clamoring to work with you. Maybe I'm not doing enough outreach. So you 10x your efforts, desperately hoping for anyone to respond. If you ask me, it's a lot of effort for little reward. But what if there was a reliable roadmap to help you grab their attention? A roadmap to uncover fresh opportunities using a new approach, a roadmap which cuts through all the noise and transforms simple outreach into copy gigs, retainers, and referrals, even without a massive portfolio or a ton of experience. Because while everyone else is 10xing their efforts, you've decided to change the way you play the game.
Ooh, I like that. That's good.
I like that a lot. And it's showing difference, which is one of the most important things, which we'll get to in a minute. And stand out with a smarter, more effective approach to get off the client chasing carousel once and for all. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, remember, you need to do the sign off because this is your email. P.S. One of the members who switched his approach couldn't believe his results. 5% conversion so far. Lol. Click the links above to discover how he did it. Okay, much better. Much better. Let me focus on the positives first and then tell you what I feel could be improved. It actually feels like this was planned, and it feels like you actually have beats to this email and you understand what you're trying to get to. You're not giving away the farm either. Like, you're not saying too much about, you're not saying, hey, it's this specific product. You're not saying, hey, here's all the stuff that's in this product. You're simply introducing a mechanism the product has, which is the roadmap. And that has the added benefit of when someone goes to the next page and sees that headline, which I think mentions like the roadmap on it, or talks about how there's, a map coming up or 30 days coming up, the DNR roadmap, it makes sense because I've just read an email that's kind of hinted at this and teased this thing. So it's a nice way to keep momentum going. Mm-hmm. Those are my good points. Anything else you want to add on the good side first, Sean?
I mean, on the good side, I would say that it's definitely painting a picture of a common problem that people have. I'm on the fence about problem, agitate, solution as a framework that's useful this day and age. It has its place, but I would say that this is doing a good job of actually showing something that people experience and showing why it sort of falls flat for a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, the went, I think.
Oh, I think my Wi-Fi went as well.
Oh, was it yours?
Maybe it was StreamYard.
It was probably StreamYard. Hope everyone can hear us still. I cannot remember what the hell I was saying.
You were about to yes and me vis-a-vis the showing the problems that people are actually experiencing.
That was it, agitation. So the thing I don't like about agitation is when people just agitate for the sake of agitating. Like, oh, it sucks, and aren't you having such a horrible time? Isn't it so shit? Like, no.